12th Man Podcast. Strap in for an hour of Boro chat. Up the Boro! All right, big bag, isn't it?
Aye, canny.
It's not bad at all, is it? Right, good evening. Welcome to the 12th Man Podcast. It's going to be a lovely, positive one as well, this one. It's going to be really good. Got a fair bit to go for it tonight. It's going to be good. Got me, Steve Jackson, I'm in the main chair. Got Cuts with me. John Cutler, you all right?
I'm very well, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Spot on.
Got Steve Dixon with us. Evening, Dicko.
Evening, fellas. All right?
Aye, cracking, mate. You?
Good. Nice to have a weekend where we've won for once. Everything seems a little bit better in the world, doesn't it?
Absolutely spoiled our podcast. If you don't know the result, you do now. But no, you're absolutely right, mate. It's been a positive week. It's been good. Speaking of positive, Mr. John Donovan's with us. Evening, JD.
Hello, how are you doing?
Yeah, we're good, mate. Are you?
Yeah, good.
Good. Enjoy Saturday.
I did. It was a good day, yeah.
Good.
Early start in hospitality. Free bar. Oh man, tell you what.
Do what?
I was in a bad way.
Just like me on an away day then. Happy days. Right, and we've got a guest tonight, boys. Evening, Yusuf.
Evening, everyone. How's it going?
Yeah, we're good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, after Saturday's result, absolutely buzzing. So yeah, can't complain.
Happy days. There you go. There's our special guest for the evening. He's kindly joined us live. So thank you very much for popping on. We'll chat to you in a little bit about all things Boro, really. JD, I'm going to come to you because you're going to do the first part of the show. So look at you. Talk to me. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to talk to me about Sheffield Wednesday. First point on the board away from home. A good point. Wasn't the best game, but we didn't get beat. It wasn't a loss. It was a strong point that we could have really taken all three as well.
Yeah. Definitely. The classic game of two halves. I was quite happy to go in at 1-0 down, to be honest, because a couple of times, especially down their right-hand side, they exposed us, and you know, Engels had a terrible game. Everybody knows that. The manager witnessed it, and he took him out the firing line, and we were far better after that. But second half, we improved massively. And what I like, even though we've been going through a very tricky start, is that we're still creating chances. It's when we don't create chances that we really should start worrying. But we created them, and fair enough, we missed them. But we still having that sort of positive approach. And it wasn't exactly the best display from the Boro, but again, we're coming from behind and we're getting something from the game. So I was pleased. I was disappointed we didn't get the win, but I was pleased that we showed some spirit second half, because we could so easily have lost it in that first half.
Spot on, absolutely right. And I'll hand over to you, Cuts, because something quite magical happened on that Tuesday night.
Oh, well, I know we give updates on our charity bet of being £0 and 0 pence, but I'm glad to say, thanks to Jacko's Lenahan 1-1, we've got £226 in the pot that will be going to charity at the end of the season that we'll decide amongst ourselves, but I presume it'll be a local charity.
Yep.
So £226.
My back pocket. That's
Well,
not great. Not really. No, we'll dish it out between all the local charities, the food bags and things like that. But yeah, we're off the mark.
We are.
Good job. Good job it wasn't first goal scorer, lad. That's all I can say.
I know. We'd be still waiting for your 1-0. No, you're absolutely right. It was a good little suggestion. It's worked. Second game in, so yeah, you can't complain. We're
yeah. Like we say,
It's a hell of a return, that, for a quid.
class in there. Quality a little bit of that. But
let's hope it's the first of many, lads.
Exactly. And speaking of first, go on.
We only need a few like that throughout the season to make it profitable, because we're only putting on 5 at a game, something like that.
Yeah.
So,
5 at a game. We are 4 quid away from profit. There you go. There's your quick maths.
It's like being joined by Carol Vorderman, isn't it?
I don't know how to take that.
It was a compliment.
Thank you. Anywho, speaking of first, Lenahan's first goal, Tuesday night as well. Luckiest of goals, but he seemed to enjoy it a bit as well, wasn't it? It was like a look of relief we got level, but it was like, oh God, I've actually scored. Get in there, kind of thing, wasn't it?
We've mentioned a few times. It's about time the centre half start chipping in with a goal or two. Did we get any from them last season? I don't think we got one. Did we? Did Fry get one? I know McNair did, but like I'm on about as in Fry and Lenahan. I'm not sure. It was definitely Lenahan's first goal for us.
Yeah, it was definitely Lenahan's first goal. Yeah.
Talking about the game, though, I mean, a few people we've mentioned on here a few times, and people have written in about Carrick not having a plan B or whatever. But fair play to him for taking Engel off in the first half, because I'm not writing him off yet, but that was a poor performance. Every time the wing back was taking him on, he got past him. Every time he tried to cross the ball, he didn't stop it, and every time he passed the ball, it went to someone in blue and white. So I think that sums up his night. Let's just obviously can't get any worse than that.
No,
but fair play to Carrick for bringing Jones on, who, in my opinion, completely changed the game. And I've been saying the last few weeks he's looked bright coming off the bench, and we'll get into it later. But let's hope he's back to what we know he can provide for this football club. And if he is, it's a massive, massive boost.
Absolutely. It was it was a complete, it's like John Dunn said there, it was game of 2 halves. We were woeful first half, absolutely horrendous. That was the right back call, was it Valentin or something like that? Absolutely tortured poor Engel. Ripped him to pieces. But the most frustrating part about their goal for me was the midfield again. There was no tracking back from midfield. It took Coburn to track the run, because obviously Valentin had got round Engels again. And it took Coburn to get stuck in. And then after that, I don't know who scored. I don't even know who scored for them.
It was a substitute, wasn't it? I can't remember his name.
Yeah, he'd only just come on. I think that's why I didn't know catch his name. But it was in the 18-yard box, free, could count on his fingers how many seconds he got. But it was too easy, way too easy. But yeah, second half was so much better. We should have won. Should have got 3 points. But sum it up, John, and like you said there, good point away from home. Could have got 3. Who was your man of the match?
Which John?
You.
Me.
Yeah, you're doing all this. This is your segment, mate.
All right. Yeah. Jones, because he was a game changer.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think any of us can disagree with that, can we?
No, I agree with that as well.
Yeah, he didn't have to change the game. I think putting O'Brien at left back, I think helped massively, because it just bit of experience in that position. I know he's not his natural position, but he did miles better than the poor kid. So yeah, good points. And then right, let's talk about Southampton. So cuts, 2 o'clock comes, team comes out. Thoughts?
I like O'Brien as a centre midfielder, so I'm not going to lie. I was talking to the lads before the game. I would have preferred to see him in centre midfield. Mm-hmm. But to be fair to him, he had a cracking game, and although it's not very hard, he was a massive improvement on the left backs we've had at the start of this season. I would have also had Crooks out of the team and had either Greenwood or Rodgers in. But to be fair to Crooks again, I don't think he had a bad game on Saturday. So Carrick got it right, and Cutler here was wrong.
I know. I mean, we'll come to another gentleman that got it wrong. Dicko, what do you think of the team?
Well, on social media, it was looking a bit drastic, wasn't it? Because the rumours were going around, and To be honest, there's been a lot of teams leaked lately on social media, and I hate that, and I hope that stops because I don't think it's good. When the team's getting leaked, I don't know who's leaking it or how it's coming out, but I hope that stops. And it was good to see that the leak on Saturday was wrong. I was delighted when the team news finally come out and seen that Fry and McGree were both in the starting lineup, which was good. But I sort of agree with John Cutler. I would like to see somebody else playing behind the striker. I would like to see Latte Olaf given the chance. If not him, I'd rather see Rodgers or someone like that given the chance ahead of Crooks in the hole. Having said that, I did think Crooks done okay on Saturday, so I've got to be the same as John Cutler and say the manager overall got it right on Saturday.
Aye. I'm going to record that bit and clip it.
I'm still going to be the Lord of Darkness and just go back slightly, just to pick you up on a couple of comments that you thought that was a good point against Sheffield Wednesday. I thought it was not a good point against Sheffield Wednesday. I thought it was 2 points dropped. I thought Sheffield Wednesday were absolutely abysmal there for the taking. And I didn't expect Middlesbrough to turn up and put in such a shambolic performance in the first half, goal down, and then to come back into its second half, like you say. And I hope Carrick's learned a lesson now that Middlesbrough moving forward are a far, far better side with Isaiah Jones and Riley McGree in it. Because for me, it stood out like a sore thumb against Sheffield Wednesday, how good they were. And on Saturday, again, and it was telling that on Saturday, there was only 3 new signings in the starting 11. I remember coming on here at the start of the season and talking to JD about the new signings and stuff. And I said, I don't see many of these players being starting 11 players. If you can remember that, I said, I think there'll be squad players and impact players. And I was starting to be proved wrong because at the start of the season, he was playing Rodgers, he was playing Silvera every game. All the new signings seemed to be figuring, yet the results were shocking. And I didn't think the new signings were particularly covering themselves in glory. And I thought on Saturday, it almost proved us right what I was saying. We need to have these new players on the bench to learn the game in the Championship and be impact players and get back to what I would class as, bona fide Championship players. And on Saturday, having Coburn back in the team and starting and having the figurehead up front, McGree starting, Jones starting, Fry, Lenihan, Dieng, O'Brien. These are all Championship players who've been there, seen it and done it. And I hope moving forward, Michael Carrick's learned a lesson with that. Give
yourself a big pat on the back, Steve.
I'm going to knock him down a peg here, and I'm just going to because obviously what you did, obviously you're absolutely right what you said, but you kept mentioning about Akpom and Ramsey and Archer. Go through their results for me at the weekend.
It's irrelevant because they'll just say what's Middlesbrough's results this season. 1-1 out of 8 games, so that's not the issue. Those players might not be playing. They might not be scoring. The teams might be losing. That's not due to their quality. If those players were at Middlesbrough Football Club now, we wouldn't be third bottom.
100%.
I don't know. Did you watch Archie yesterday? He was horrendous.
Steve, give the new players time to bed in, right?
Well, that's what I've said, John. If you listen to what I'm saying, I think Carrick should have given them time to bed in by bringing them on as impact players and substitutes, playing them in the cup games. To throw them in at the start of the season with no experience, I think that's cost us games. I think if we had a team playing at the start of the season similar to what we had on Saturday, we would be far higher up the league.
But Engels, barring the horrendous display put in at Sheffield Wednesday, hasn't been awful. He's been.
I'm not chucking Engel under the bus. He was poor against. He was poor against Sheffield Wednesday, but so was a lot of the other Middlesbrough players equally as poor.
So was House and Hackney first half. Because again we lost the midfield battle. So it's not so much. It's not so much the individual players. It's about the team, and it's about the right, the attitude and the character. And some of the new players have come in to a tough division like the Championship and maybe didn't settle in straight away.
That's what I'm trying to
Right.
say. For me, they shouldn't have been starting. They should have been bedded in better. I'm not saying they're not good. It might be a blessing in disguise that they've come in, because moving forward now, they've got a bit of experience and they may kick on a little bit quicker than we thought. So it might
But
be a
you
blessing in
learn-
disguise, but there's
you-
not
you learn-
anybody we've signed who've covered themselves in glory this season. There really hasn't.
But you learn
You
more.
can butter it up any way you want. They haven't.
You learn more from players, and I wouldn't say it was due down to the fact that it wasn't just the new players who were performing badly. Because I mean, Silvera started off quite well, and then he's tailed off a little bit. We were talking on here, and we mentioned Fry, we mentioned Howson, we mentioned Hackney. You know, so it's collectively the team have underperformed.
I
so
agree.
far.
I agree with that. But all I'm saying is, I think Middlesbrough look a far stronger team with the Championship players that have got the experience in it. And the team on Saturday, for me, looked a hell of a lot stronger, a hell of a lot like more like a Michael Carrick team. They were hustling, they were chasing, they were pressing, they were working harder. And I think that's down to the fact early on in the season, we've expected too much from some of the new signings who weren't quite ready. And I think if you asked Michael Carrick this, and he was being honest, he would say maybe they did play too much in the early part of the season. Some of that was down to injuries. Some of it was down before we got the loan players in to give them more options. But I don't think there's many of the new signings covered themselves in glory this season. But moving forward, they might push on moving forward, because they've been thrown in at the deep end, so to speak. And it might actually, as the season progresses, become a positive.
I mean, you can say about throwing players under the bus or whatever you want to say, right? We're on here, we're watching games and we're commenting on games. So, and you're talking about players not coming in to start. Well, we've bought Engel, we've bought him thinking he's going to come in and play left back for us for the full season, I think. We haven't bought him over as a kid or a development player. He's come in to take Giles's place. Now, it's been painfully obvious to everyone. I haven't seen nothing positive from him yet. I'm not writing him off, but his start this season has been absolutely abysmal, and there's no way we can sugarcoat that, in my opinion.
Well, I don't agree with that. I don't agree that he was being abysmal. He hasn't been Giles, and maybe these people are holding him up to that comparison. He's been steady. I mean, barring Sheffield Wednesday, would you say he's been ripped to bits on a constant basis, consistently?
He was poor at West Brom, wasn't he? He was poor against them away from home. I don't know if Engel was our first choice fullback. I think the first choice fullback the same was Bangura, and I think because that was delayed, we had to do something because we had nothing at left back available. So I'm not so sure he was the first choice anyway. He's came in. I think he'll compete with Bangura for the left back spot, but I fully expect when Bangura's fit and up to speed, he'll start.
Well, one of our kind listeners, viewers, people, has kindly sent a question for you to go. Have any of the first team squad covered themselves in glory themselves so far?
Jeff Harland, by the way.
Yes, thanks, Jeff.
No, listen, I'm not saying anybody's covered themselves in glory. I think it's been an embarrassing start, a shameful start, a really, really disappointing start of the season from what we're expecting. And I'm not trying to hang the new signings out to dry. If you listen to me point, what I'm trying to say is I don't think they should have been playing as many minutes at the start of the season, because I don't think they're quite ready yet. And I think if we had played with more experienced players from the start of the season and had them coming off the bench more as impact players, we would have been higher up the league. But I'm not saying they've been poor or anything like that. The whole squad's been poor from top to bottom.
The only thing I'd say on the new size, if you don't put them in, how are you going to know if they're poor or not?
Because you can put them in from the bench, bring them on at half time, bring them on after 20 minutes, bring them on when you're in a better place during the game, when you maybe 1-0 up.
What if you're 1-0 down?
Well, that's up to the manager, but it's just my opinion. I don't think they should have been playing as many minutes as they have. And I think Middlesbrough have struggled because of that, and it's cost us points. I think if we had played the team we had on Saturday, or around that type of squad with a little bit more experience in it earlier on in the season, we would have been in a better position. And I think moving forward, the proof will be in the pudding, because I think Michael Carrick now will do that.
I think hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I think got to take Steve's points on board. I think what he's saying is pretty much true, to be honest. It's been proven true up to now.
I'm not disagreeing with him, but it's like the same argument with youngsters, isn't it? If you don't put them in, you don't know, do you?
Well, you've banged on about Coburn, haven't you, for weeks?
See, I told you.
You have banged on about him, and let's be fair, he's coming and he's put in a couple of decent shifts. To be fair to the lad, but if you don't give them minutes, how are you going to know if they're up to the standard? It's
different with Joshy, isn't it, though? Because Joshy's played in the Championship before, he's played in League One before. He knows what it's all about, and I think Coburn should have been playing earlier, the same as what Steve says. Yeah, it gives us something different, but I think it's a less of a gamble putting the Josh Coburn up front, for example, than putting at the start of the season he was playing Morgan Rogers.
Yeah,
that was never going to work. So straight away, there's a point. Why wasn't he playing Josh Coburn?
It's injuries, though, isn't it? Josh Coburn wasn't fit at the start of the season.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. It's some of it's selection, some of it's injuries, but at the end of the day, Michael Carrick's made some poor decisions this season so far. As much as we praised him last season, he's been quite poor these decision making this season.
Yeah,
well, Steve, you're talking about experienced players, right? You were saying we should have started without experienced players. We've had the midfield. We've had McGree, Howson, Crooks, Hackney, all appearing regularly, and yet that has been, in my opinion, our Achilles heel. That's where
I agree.
Most of the games have been lost.
Yeah, so I'll go back and say you've just mentioned two players from Saturday who were best players. Riley McGree and Isaiah Jones have been sitting on the bench far too much. They should have been playing. That's a big loss when you've got Johnny Howson's got no legs, so you need to put legs around him. So Isaiah Jones should have been playing. Riley McGree should have been playing. I don't think any Middlesbrough fan would disagree with what I'm saying, that Isaiah Jones, Riley McGree should have been playing every game. You think Riley McGree and Isaiah Jones should have been playing?
No, not about that point. I do. When you say about we would have fared better if we had experience in the team. Well, we've had experience in the midfield, and that has been, in my opinion, our weakest area of the team this season so far.
Well, that's fair enough. As I say, I just think more experience in the team, we'd have been higher in the league, and I'll stick to that. And I'll guarantee you, moving forward, Michael Carrick will stick to that.
Who are Yusuf's wasting his time? He's just listening to you two picking it. We'll let you talk in a minute, mate. Don't worry.
Yeah. And by the way, Colburn's only had 23 games in the Championship. There you go.
He proved last season against Tottenham what he can do, didn't he?
Oh,
but he's had games in League One. He knows what English football is all about, and he's had more experience in English football than the new lads who've come from Australia, Morgan Rogers, all those. He's still played more minutes in English football than all of those players.
Oh, someone's going to check some stats out in a minute today. I hope that's correct.
Right, I'll hand over to Yusuf. Yusuf, what have you made of Boro's start while I Google away?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say. Everyone knows I'm quite positive, but I can't say it's been a great start to the season. It's been terrible, especially considering the season that we had last season. Should we have had more points? Possibly. Obviously, I thought against Huddersfield, we probably should have beaten them. But the other games, I'm not sure whether we deserved to have won. And hasn't been a difficult start. If you look at the teams that we've played teams like Millwall and West Brom away, and do you know what I mean? Teams that we should really be getting results against. So considering we haven't really, apart from Coventry, I don't think we've played any team that I would describe as like a team that I'd expect to be in the top sort of 6, top 8 of the table. So in that state, it's been a really, really poor start to the season. And I just hope that the win just changes our season and our outlook for the season, because like I said, it's been really, really poor start to the season.
Yeah, it's been
as bad as it's been. I think I seen the other day we only 8 points off the playoffs. So there's a positive for us all, boys.
I know. John, get that hotel booked up. We're going to London in May. But no, it's nice to be optimistic in the after a win. But
Absolutely.
yeah. So kickoff comes. Obviously, the first goal. I've got so many problems with that first goal. So many problems. We gave it away too cheaply in midfield again. We go behind again. Every game this season in the league, we've gone behind. Every game. Conceding the first half as well, but apart from 2 games, Millwall and QPR. Sure it is, That's poor. That's really poor. But that ball, I mean, you could tell that the front two were Premier League, can't you? The ball through from Che Adams to Armstrong was, it ripped us open, didn't it?
I banged up enough last season about Armstrong.
Do you want to start again?
Yeah, well.
What did you bang? What did you bang, John?
What I'm saying is he's probably right. He's a top player. So
Yeah,
pat on the back for me as well. I really rate Armstrong. He's a top player. He works his socks off. Yeah. And like I've said, he's a player I would have loved to have seen at this football club. Mm-hmm. We actually asked Wilder about it last year.
We did.
Before the season started, and he said, well, his answer was, we're interested in all quality players, and he's a quality player. So I think he's somebody that the club definitely looked at. Didn't get it over the line. He had a good chance about 2 minutes before where he tried a curler and it just went over the bar. He's a good player. Yeah. You can look at every single goal and we can pick out faults in the goals. But from their point of view, we would have took it and he's a top player. And Adams is another one in this league. They're going to be both a handful for any team they play.
Oh, yeah.
You look at their midfield as well. I mean, we're going to go into it later about how we played. Their midfield was really strong on Saturday. Was it small bone?
Yeah, well,
who we mentioned was superb last year for Stoke over here.
He was.
We nullified him on Saturday. You've got Downs, who cost West Ham about 14 million or something. And who was the other lad in midfield?
Oh God, what was his name?
Anyway, our midfield matched them up on Saturday. As much criticism as we've given the midfield this year,
keep talking.
I thought they were really good against a top championship midfield on Saturday.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, the third person in that midfield was Shea Charles. Never heard of him. Sorry.
Ray Charles. No wonder we won. He's blind, isn't he?
Aye, yeah. But. Look at their front three. Like, obviously, we mentioned the two in the goal. The third was Ryan Fraser. Ryan Fraser on loan from Newcastle. You know what I mean?
To be honest, when I was watching that game, I used to rate him when he was at Bournemouth. I wouldn't have him anywhere near this team.
No. There was only a couple of times he troubled Vandenberg, but apart from that.
I thought he was really poor.
Yeah. There was a couple of runs in the first half where he cut back inside and he got the ball in the box, but apart from that, I didn't really see him much after that. But yeah, the fear hit me after they scored first. I've got to admit, it hit me.
To be fair, before they scored, I thought we started the game pretty well. I thought the first 10, 15 minutes we were okay.
We did. But it was more left to right to left to right to left to right. And I thought they've done exactly what every other team's done in this league. Sat in between them, made it them 18-yard lines and just said, well, find a way around through us then. They can't. But yeah. And also I was thinking about old Cherry Best as well.
Well,
I had Armstrong 2 on Southampton. I thought, oh no, I don't want this one to come in. But we got through it, and I'll let Yusuf talk about this goal. Obviously, the mistake came from Mason Holgate. Was it Coleman jumped in, or was it Jones jumped in? Didn't he?
Jones.
Yeah, Jones jumped in. Obviously, got the ball to McGree, and he practically sat the defender up and put it into the near post. It was a hell of a finish.
Yeah, it was a good finish. Really good finish, to be fair. But I think the keeper probably should have saved it. I think he'd be disappointed. But yeah, it was a really good finish, I thought.
It's a good job he did score because Jones had made a brilliant run on outside of him.
Yeah, the keeper got something on it, but it was hit well, and we chased them down. Which is something that we've failed to do as aggressively as we did on Saturday. We chased the ball down. It was Coburn first who made the centre half make a rash decision, and then the fullback who Jones nicked it off. He just was left daydreaming, and Jones picked it off his toes, and McGree done the rest. It was just what we needed before half time. And I thought the crowd, even though we went 1-0 down, I thought the crowd stayed good to the Boro. They didn't lose any patience with them, you know, because I think we could see from the off that it was a different performance. I could see a lot of character in that team. I could see a lot of desire, which I've been wanting to see for a lot of the games this season. And so when we went 1-0 down, we came straight back and we were pushing. We didn't create that many chances. I mean, I know Jones. Tell me, lads, did Jones hit the post or did McGree hit the post?
McGree.
Because from where I've seen it and from the replays, I don't know whether McGree sort of was there to guide it, and if it wasn't going in and he didn't touch it and it came off the post, or did McGree knock it onto the post?
I don't think. Did it hit the post? I don't think it did, you know.
No,
I was right behind it, yeah. Riley McGree, come in, right foot. Come to him quick, actually.
No, in the first half, Steve.
Sorry, no. The first half one you're on about. No, Jones put it across the face of goal in Riley McGree coming at the back stick. And it was an impossible angle to score. And he just touched it back across and it rolled along the line. It wasn't going in. It wasn't going in. Their defender cleared it, but it wasn't going in. But it was impossible for McGree to score. It was really unlucky. Jones put an excellent ball across and it was just unlucky. It was just the dynamics of it. McGree couldn't do anything with it, but it was really unlucky.
I couldn't tell from my vantage point whether or not it hit the post or not. And I couldn't really tell from watching it, the highlights on the replay. I couldn't tell them, but cheers for that.
But I agree with John, just to say what John's saying there, 100% agree with what he's saying there regarding the performance in the midfield and the support, because what we were doing was a more Middlesbrough-like performance. You see people chasing people down. Isaiah Jones had his little bit nastiness back in his game. He got booked. He could have even been sent off. But I like that in Isaiah Jones, that little bit of nastiness about him and getting stuck in and chasing people down, harrying people. And that's how we got the goal. Matt Crooks was doing the same, kept nipping the ball off people. Coburn was a handful. And it was a real, you could see Middlesbrough were playing, you know, giving everything for the support. And I thought, like John says, the support stayed patient. I thought the atmosphere was the best it's been all season at home, not just because we won, but because they were rowing the lads on. And that goal by McGree come at such a good time, because we didn't deserve to be 1-0 down. And when we equalised on the 44th minute, you could feel the relief around the ground as if to see at last. Something's gone our way, we deserved that. And they got a good ovation at half time when they went off, because the supporters appreciated that they'd put the shift in the first half. In second half, it continued, and I think it was a big thumbs up to the supporters on Saturday. They kept with the team. It's the old adage of, you know, if the team put 100% in, you'll get it back on the terraces, and that's what happened on Saturday. They were hand in hand on Saturday for the first time this season, and I loved it.
Yeah, it was. It was a hell of an atmosphere on Saturday, wasn't it? It was. We didn't give in. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. We didn't give in. We could have easily folded after that first goal, but we never.
Well, I think I didn't hear them, but I seen comments on Twitter. Wasn't a few of the after game comments by Carrick and Howson a bit interesting about? Did they mention something about agendas or something like that? I think what's happened this week is they must have had a big meeting similar to what we've had in the past, where Ledbetter has got the players together. And it looks like Howson's probably had a big thing to do with that, and he's got together and ruffled a few feathers, I think.
Well, it's funny that because Howson mentioned obviously about the penalty. I mean, I'll talk about the penalty in a minute. He said Grant told me to take responsibility.
Absolutely.
So Grant's obviously got his two pennies in, hasn't he? And said, you know, come on, boys, get a grip. You know, people come and pay a lot of money to watch you, lads, and you're not giving it at the moment. Something needs to change. Was your approach? Because I thought the approach on Saturday was completely different. I thought it was more positive. Like JD mentioned, the push, the press was there. We haven't had the press all season. All of a sudden we hit him and we kept hitting him. It wasn't like press and then back off again. It was press, and they didn't like it one bit. And I thought that made the big difference for me, because Southampton, they're all possession, and then they'll pass through you. didn't have a chance to do that on Saturday. The balls they were playing were just round the back, really, and in the middle of midfield.
Well, Jeff says there they had a meeting during the week and everyone put their thoughts in. Wouldn't surprise me if that happened at all, to be honest.
There must have been practicing dance moves as well, going off house and celebration. There must have been on the Let's Dance or something as well. That celebration he was doing was tremendous, wasn't it?
Been playing on the new FIFA, hasn't he?
Who's this Jeff, by the way? Right, Jeff, get yourself on, right? Because you sound like you know a few things. What's going on, right? I need to know. So, yeah, get yourself on, mate. But, right, penalty. On a scale of 1 to 10 cuts, how cheeky was it that Howard Bellis asked that wasn't given because he was being grabbed hold of as well?
You've got to try what you try, don't you? He's the defender. You've got to go for it. I would expect our defenders to do the same. So
he absolutely ripped his shirt off practically, and he was saying, well, "I didn't really touch him. I mean, behave yourself, kid." But I've got to give Coburn some credit as well, because there's been often this season where we've gone to that position on the wing and we've not really had anything in the box, and he got himself middle of the box, point A position. Obviously, he got pulled down for the penalty, and he was down to take it as well, wasn't he? He was down to take it.
I mean, we mentioned earlier that you especially have been calling for Coburn to start. Now, although he wasn't spectacular on Saturday, I thought he put in a really good shift. I think there was a stat today, he was the player with the least touches on the pitch from the starters, but he won the ball in the air. Mm-hmm. He worked his socks off. Could have had a goal second half when I was screaming for him to lay the ball across the box. But he's a centre forward. If you're not going to shoot from there, you're never going to shoot.
I was say, if you're asking your centre forward to shoot there, you've got problems. But and the best thing was that the two centre halves he was playing against. Obviously, I mentioned Howard Bellis there, but Jan Bednarek he's a seasoned Premier League centre half.
Well, that's it. You can. We've already mentioned their midfield and the forwards. Kyle Walker played for England, hasn't he? Or cost an awful lot of money. Mason Holgate went to Everton from, was it Norwich, for a lot of money? Mm-hmm. They've got some squad, them, and we caused them trouble all over the pitch, I thought we created a lot of decent chances on Saturday, to be fair.
Yeah, and you look at the keeper as well. Keeper came from Man City.
Yeah, Bazinga.
No, Bazoo.
I know.
Bazinga. But, yeah, you know what I mean? He came from exactly the same sort of route that our keeper from last season did.
Yeah, well.
Zach Steffen. So, you know, they must see something in him, and they paid a lot of money for him. And he played for Portsmouth as well. So they must have believed he had some ability.
He's good on penalties as well, so that was going through my mind when Howson stepped up.
Oh,
it was a great penalty.
Yeah, I was going to say, as soon as he grabbed the ball, I thought, I've got no doubt here. I've got absolutely no doubt the skipper's got this.
Cool as a cucumber.
He was, wasn't he? I said on Saturday night, captain, leader, legend. And it really was epitomised with that. It was brilliant. And you look up and you look in the south stand, and there's the main man dancing away. Did you enjoy that penalty, Yusuf?
Of course. I mean, my dance is nowhere near as good as Howson's dance, and his is something else. It is something else. But yeah, I absolutely loved it. And then you had John Donovan to my left in the posh stand doing a bit of dancing as well. So I think we all loved it.
Can we just pause this a minute then? And can John and Yusuf just give us a little bit of dancing for our viewers? I'm sure they'd love to see that.
No, thanks.
I'm as stiff as a board, John, I tell you. It's knocked the hell out of me that weekend.
Well, I've heard Strictly are on the phone for you now, so...
No, but you're right. I got a bird's eye view. Like I said, it must have been about 10, 15 yards away from Yusuf. And fair play. The atmosphere was good. I didn't fancy sitting quiet as a dormouse in the hospitality area, so I got myself up, I shouted, I sang, and fair play. There's a lot of people who probably thought, yeah, this is a bit of a change, I want to have a go, and they joined in. It was really good. It was good. It was good atmosphere, and yeah, excellent when that penalty went in. Made it 2-1. Just wish we could have finished off a couple of other gilt-edged chances that we had to make it a little bit easier towards the end.
Yeah, we did that. We had a couple of big chances. Obviously, Coburn's shot on goal, which was quite unlucky not to go in because it went through the keeper's legs and somehow managed to hit his top leg and bounce down and up above over the bar, which I thought was unlucky. And then obviously McGree's effort late on hit the post.
Well,
Go on.
The keeper looked behind him. I mean, I think he must have thought that, he knew he got a touch, obviously, but I think he must have thought that it had gone in because he looked straight behind him, and he was relieved to see it bounce over.
Well, you two have got a couple of fans. Well, one fan anyway that likes you both. Kath Sykes is saying, Yusuf, you'll have to do this dance now. No pressure. And Kath Sykes, don't be leaving us in the North Stand, John.
Yeah, John.
No, I won't. I'll go back. I can't afford hospitality every week.
And the liver can't cope with this.
I know,
No,
that
absolutely
free
not.
bar.
No.
But yeah, it was. Yeah, you're getting requests here, Yusuf. You're gonna have to dance, I think, mate. Sorry, but
Only in the stadium. Sorry, sorry, everyone. Only in the stadium.
bang a background on behind him, right, and he'll soon dance. But no, yeah, he'll dance at Watford, Kath. Don't worry, he'll be dancing at Watford. But right, man of the match. I know it's a tough one this week because there was about 4 or 5 names that stood out to me this week. But I'll start with you, Cut.
I'm going to have to give it to one of the either Coburn, Jones, or McGree for me.
Well, pick
But
one.
I am going to.
Oh.
Hold your horses, son. I'm going to go with I'm going to go for Riley McGree. I thought he was absolutely pivotal, near enough everything we did going forward. His goal capped it off. He hit the post. I thought he was sensational. So I'm going McGree. Long time coming of him being in the team, by the way.
Long time coming. He played like that as well when he was in the team because there's been times he's played and he hasn't turned up. But Saturday, I thought he was superb.
A lot harder coming off the bench, though. Should have been starting.
John Don?
Coburn. I said it to my mates. I just said he's worked so hard. I tell you what, he's a big lad. And he's only young, but I tell you something, he gave absolutely everything. He was holding the ball up well. He was finding our players when the ball came into him. I would have loved to have capped his display off with a goal, but it wasn't to be. But he could have had an assist. McGree really should have scored. I just thought I wanted all our players to put in the effort that he put in that on Saturday. I thought it was excellent, and he was my man of the match.
They've set the benchmark now, though, John.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. I know, but you know what? I'm glad that's the benchmark. I didn't want it to be the first half against Sheffield Wednesday being the benchmark. It's got to be that. You know, it's got to be, and that's what we're capable of doing. Because it was a 2-1 win, but I thought it was fairly comfortable. I really did think it was fairly comfortable in the end. We beat the possession team for possession. You know, we had greater possession. We were the better team, barring a 10-minute spell in the first half and maybe 15 minutes in the second. I thought we were the better team for the majority of the game.
Yeah. I mean, there's one person who disagreed with you. Did you see Russell Martin's comments after the game?
I didn't.
Oh.
And to be honest, I don't care what he says. We've got
Honestly,
3 points. Enjoyed the long trip home.
Yeah. He was swearing blind. They were the better team. We offered nothing. Honestly, I don't know what he was watching. Sour grapes, poor lad. But sod him.
Big old man of the match.
I would say the ones that stood out for me, I thought Lewis O'Brien did very, very well at left back under difficult circumstances and had good players up against him. And I thought he did outstanding. Obviously, I agree with you, John Cutler. I thought McGree was outstanding, as he normally is, to be fair. And I also agree with John Donovan about Josh Coburn, who was also outstanding. Coburn, to me, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, it was almost like a championship Mark Viduka type performance. And I mean that in a nice way. He held the ball up. He was strong. He ran the line. He was deceptively quick when he got them on the turn. They seemed to struggle to catch up with him. And the best bit for me, which was, can you remember when he took the ball at the corner flag? When we needed to run the clock down? And they just couldn't get the ball off him. He was so strong, holding the ball up, keeping it there. And he wasted about 4 minutes. So I agree with everything you have said. But I'm going to give it to Isaiah Jones, because if I was the opposition manager on Saturday, if I could have took any player off the pitch for Middlesbrough to help my cause, it would have been Isaiah Jones. I know his final ball sometimes poor. I know his final shot sometimes is poor, like when he hit the one straight at the goalkeeper in the the second half. But he was a menace to them all game. They couldn't keep up with him. He was nicking balls off them, turning them, driving past them. And I thought he was outstanding on Saturday. And I think we've got, the Isaiah Jones that we all love back. I think he's got his head in a good place. and it was great to see. So I'll give it to Zaya Jones.
Yusuf?
Yeah, I mean, it just shows you how good our performance was. You know, it's been three different answers in terms of who was man of the match. You know, all three was very, very good. But for me, Josh Coburn, I thought everything positive that we did came through him. You know, he was so strong. He won everything in the air. He was basically our target. And all that was missing from that performance was that goal. And hopefully he keeps working hard, and it will be really good to see. I think someone mentioned, and I can't remember who it was, forgive me, him and Latte Laugh together. That would be a good partnership in the future. But for me, Josh Coburn was very good. But I have to also give a shout out to Van den Berg, who I thought was he was unbelievable, considering the centre back, 19-year-old playing at right back, unbelievable.
Yeah, I thought Van den Berg was really good, really good. But you're not going to be shocked by my man of the match. I thought Coburn was brilliant. He proved every doubter wrong Saturday for me. He still hasn't got the goal. I get that, but it was perfect performance for a hold-up striker. He did everything you wanted him to do, and he had the players around him to help him as well. He was just unlucky with his, obviously, that shot on goal that went over the bar. He was unlucky with that, but his hold-up play was brilliant. So two experienced centre-halves, he bossed him. He absolutely bossed him.
Yeah, I was surprised by his strength. I really was. I mean, like I say, you can see that he's grown physically from last season. But I was surprised at how strong he sort of he showed that he was against, like has been mentioned, two very experienced centre halves. He done really, really well.
He did really, really well. I say Bednar, experienced Premier League centre half, and Howard Bellis was part of the Burnley team that absolutely romped away with the championship. So, you know, brilliant, superb, happy win.
Little mention to a decent save as well from Dieng.
Very good.
Second half. I think it was a little bit for the cameras, but it was a good save all the same, and it was an important save.
I know, he didn't half leap in the air. I'm pretty sure his head was above the crossbar at one point. I thought, Jesus Christ. Like, he tried the Van der Sar that he got wrong all them years ago against Mendy. But he actually got it right on Saturday, but it was a great save. I thought he was solid again. There was no mistakes really for me from Dieng.
His distribution from the back on Saturday was outstanding, by the way.
Oh, I don't think he missed. I think he may have missed one, if I'm being really harsh. But apart from that, I thought he was spot on with his distribution. Yeah. So
he must be absolutely gutted that he's yet to keep a clean sheet, because, you know, we've spoken on previous podcasts. A lot of the goals we've conceded, a top class Premier keeper wouldn't have saved them. You know, he's been very unlucky. But I'm hoping that clean sheet comes very, very soon.
It's coming. It is coming. Hopefully next couple of games. I hope. But we'll move on, because we've got two games to preview in our last 10 minutes. Tomorrow, last 32 of the Cup. One place we've already been. We thought, we won't go there. We'll go in pre-season. Yeah, we'll have a look, see what Valley Parade's like, and where are we going tomorrow? Bradford. But is tomorrow, Cut, a chance to leave that team in and say, prove it again for me, or do you make a few changes and say, prove you can get back in that team for me?
I don't think it'll be an unchanged team.
No, I don't either.
Now, the reason for that is, it wouldn't surprise me if Coburn doesn't play tomorrow and Lath comes in. But the reason for that is because I think he'll play Coburn on Saturday.
Yeah.
So personally, I think Lath will come in. I think there'll be maybe 3 changes tomorrow. Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing Greenwood or Rodgers getting a run out instead of Crooksy, maybe. You know, I'm pretty much, I've always said, haven't I, for as long as I've been on this podcast, if you put in a performance, you deserve to keep your shirt for the next game. Mm-hmm. By that, I mean the next league game. So for me, I wouldn't change Saturday's team for Watford, no matter what they do tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's a cup game. I want us to take it seriously. We've got a chance of getting in the last 16. And if we do, and we get a home tie, we'll all be buzzing. Because we've got a real chance of an exciting cup run. It's money in the coffers. It can't do us any wrong. Give some of their players that aren't getting minutes a chance to get some minutes, and we can see what they're going to do. So yeah, I expect a couple of changes, and I'm confident we're going to get a win as well.
That's a good one. Crooks is suspended.
There you go. I said he wouldn't play.
There you go. So there you go. He won't.
Rav went off with an injury, so he might be rested, so that he doesn't aggravate that.
Then again, though, you can bring Paddy in at right back. So for me, that's
Absolutely.
Hopefully, he's fit for Saturday.
Yeah, we've got enough. And there's, as I say, moving forward, I want to give this lad a shout. I know he's not going to play tomorrow, right? I'm not saying that. But there's another player playing tonight. So he's on his little comeback trail now. Third game, I think it is now. Matt Clark.
Clark,
yeah. He's not far away from being back. I'm not saying he's in any position to move the two that we've got in, but it's an option.
If we'd have talked about this last week, he would have been in a position to move the two that are in.
Who for?
Well, we've talked about the defence not being solid. I know, like we said last week, how much you love Fry. Him and Lennon have not really covered themselves in glory this season. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Dicko wouldn't have been averse last week to Fry getting dropped. So Clark coming back is a boost for the squad, and it's only good for the team.
It's massive. It's a massive boost for the squad.
I remember his first game. He had a really good game, didn't he? And his pedigree's good. He's just suffered with injuries. Let's hope the lad can get back to fitness.
I mean, I don't want to see massive changes tomorrow, or maybe three changes, 4 maximum. Yeah. But with the squad that we've got, we can make changes and still be strong. And let's be fair, we're playing a League Two team who've had an indifferent start to their league campaign. So let's keep let's start some momentum. Let's make 4,000 travelling Boro fans enjoy the game, enjoy hopefully the win. And we're in the last 16 then. I've said on here, we're not going to win it. We're not going to win it, right? But let's just go there and enjoy it. And tomorrow's game can be another confidence booster if we can get a win, play well, score some goals, and if Latte comes in, hopefully he gets on the score sheet, and it's all about confidence and momentum and character, and that's what we've got to do. That's what we've got to show. We've had a torrid start of the season. We've got to put that behind us and look forward now. Like you said, John, 8 points from the playoffs. I'd rather we had more points on the board, but the fact of the matter is we haven't. So let's just see if we can push ourselves on from a great display on Saturday, and then let's follow it with a win tomorrow.
Well, just a quick one from Jeff Ireland. Question, guys. Cup win tomorrow or 3 points on Saturday? Now, I think we'll all answer the same to that. 3 points on Saturday for me.
Yeah, if I could only have one, 3 points.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I still expect to go through in the cup as well.
Yeah.
I expect 4 changes tomorrow night. I don't think I'll be too far off. I think you'll see Glover. I think you'll see Glover coming in goal. He's played all the cup games. I think both full. I think you might see Tommy Smith coming at right back for injured Rav Vandenberg.
Legend.
And I think Engel might get a chance of redemption. They might put Engel back at left back and stick O'Brien back in midfield. Maybe give Howson a rest midweek to keep him fit for Saturday. And I think Latte Laff might just come in for Matt Crooks and play behind Josh Coburn, because I think Coburn is important tomorrow night. I think I would keep him in the team. We're playing against 2 ugly thug-like centre-halves who we've seen the last time we played them. I think his strength will be important tomorrow night. And also it's an opportunity for Josh Coburn to score a goal and get his confidence high. So I'd like to see Coburn stay in the team.
I'd like to see what that front two, if it started, what they were capable of, because I was hoping Laff would come on for the last 15-20 minutes on Saturday.
So was I. Yeah, I was
because like I say, Josh had had a fantastic physical battle against those 2 centre halves. So I just thought that that speed and movement of Laff would have been ideal, but it wasn't to be. I'd like to see them start together tomorrow.
Yeah.
So let's go on then, hopefully, to a bit more charity money. We'll start with Yusuf. Anytime goal scorer and a result, Yusuf?
Anytime goal scorer, I think Coburn. Coburn needs a goal, and I think it will be 2-1 Boro. Josh Coburn.
Well, I've gone last 3-1. Jacko's gone Rogers 3-1. Dicko?
Well, I had this score in my head, then I looked at Bradford and I seen they were, like John was saying, in different start, 11th in the league, and I thought, But I looked at the score on Saturday and they've won 4-1 away from home at Newport. They're unbeaten in the last 6 games and they're unbeaten at home. So it's a bit, what sort of team we're going to play, I don't know, but I'm going to stick to my original thoughts and I'm going to go 4-1 Middlesbrough, Josh Coburn, anytime scorer.
JD?
3-0, first clean sheet. And I'm going to go with Isaiah Jones.
Well, we're going to have to move on quickly to Saturdays then. Obviously, tough trip to Watford, Vicarage Road.
Massively tough trip.
It's going to be a tough game. They haven't started particularly well either.
Yeah, I mean, before we do that, I'll quickly get a word from. I'll get it from Yusuf actually, because obviously it's a local game for you, isn't it? What are you making of this trip? The long trip to Watford for you?
Yeah, I mean, it should be a good one. Obviously, it's not actually in London. Everyone thinks Watford's in London, but it's not actually in London. It's in the outskirts of London, so technically, it's not in London.
Yes,
but
Steve.
yeah, sorry.
I said yes, Steve.
Don't do it.
But yeah, it should be a good game, and hopefully we get a win. I think we need to just keep that momentum going and get hopefully a clean sheet. That's why I think it's all about momentum. That's why I try to pick a similar team that we did on Saturday tomorrow against Bradford, and just keep that momentum and that run going. And hopefully, yeah, we'll get a good win against Watford.
So an anytime goal scoring match result on Saturday then, Yusuf?
I think we'll win 1-0, get our first clean sheet of the season, and I think the winning goal will be from Hayden Hackney.
Okay.
JD?
2-1 to Middlesbrough.
What was that,
Anytime
2-1?
goal scorer. 2-1 to Middlesbrough,
Yeah.
Anytime goal scorer. Riley McGree.
Dicko?
I watched them against Leeds and they were poor. They got a good hammering off Leeds. Both they're at home and it's a different prospect at home. They're a decent side still, got some good players. So I'll go 1-1, Josh Coburn.
Well, Jacko's gone Howson 1-1.
I'm glad you said that because I forgot.
And I've gone Coburn 2-1. So what a positive podcast that was.
I know.
It's about time. It's about time.
It's good. It's good that we're positive. You know, there's a lot of positivity to go against now. Yeah. So there we go. There's another week done.
Bring it on.
Aye. Bring on the next couple of games.
I think we've turned the corner now, hopefully. Get a win tomorrow night and then see what we do at Watford.
Aye.
The thing is, you know, we've all chewed over the start of the season. We've all had our opinions, but Saturday it was like a performance from last season for me. It's so hopeful. Whatever was said at this so-called meeting, great. Whether Grant Ledbetter threatened to batter them all, I don't care. But it worked because we looked determined. Like I said, it's something about character. You know, you show more character when you come out fighting. When you've been like down on the floor, you know, you got to pick yourself up and do it. And we showed a great deal of character. We know we've got some skill in that team because a lot of the players we had last year. So we know we've got a certain amount of skill, but it's sometimes it's application. Sometimes it's a little bit of luck as well. So yeah, I hope what we saw on Saturday is the start of a bit of momentum for us.
I hope so.
Let's hope so.
I hope so, yeah. And just like that, another week's done. Happy days. Yusuf, thank you so much for popping on. Enjoy the short trip to Watford on Saturday.
Not London.
Yeah, not London. I've been well and truly told. Tico, always good to chat to you. Enjoy
Thanks,
your
lads.
week. JD, enjoy the trip to Watford. I would usually be there, but I'll be in the sun enjoying it. So I'll shout as loud as I can to try and be heard in not London, in Watford. So cuts and yeah, enjoy your week.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And these lads will be hopefully back next week. I won't be. I'll be sunning it away. Well deserved break. That's what I need. So yeah, enjoy. I'll be back for the preview for
Cardiff.
No, I won't be back for that.
I'm trying to confuse you. It
No.
worked, didn't it?
No, I won't be back for that. But I'll see you lads though. I'll see you lads in that away end, 9 flights of stairs up at Sunderland. I know. So enjoy. Be seeing you. Arrivederci.
Up the Boro.
Up the Boro.
Up the border. Thanks, Yusuf.
Cheers.
Up the
Thank
Boro.
you for listening to the 12th Man podcast. Hope to see you all again next week. Up the Boro.
Boro.